Like everyone stand for the pledge of allegiance, please. Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mr. Furman, if you could call roll now. Mr. Rappich?
Present.
Mr. Rossetti?
Present.
I didn't forget you, Mr. Neal.
Here.
Maroc? Present. Mr. Hyde?
Here.
Self, present. And then what do we want to do about Mr. McBride? I will entertain a motion to accept Mr. McBride's attendance remotely as he is.
So moved. Second.
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 Right, so I'm going to do Mr. Rappich,
Aye.
Mr. Rossetti,
Aye.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
great, Ms. Duhek,
Yes.
myself. Aye. And do we do Scott? Well, and then I would just ask if he's present. No, Mr. McBride,
Yes,
present?
present.
If I could ask everyone to review the meeting minutes from August 14th. Any questions, comments, corrections? Misspellings are most likely my fault.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, sir.
the very last sentence, motion to convene the meeting at 11:48. The meeting is adjourned at 11:48.
Yeah.
Okay. Any other comments or corrections?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes from the August 14th, 2023 meeting.
I'll second. With correction noted. Mr. Rappich,
Aye.
Mr. Rossetti,
Aye.
Mr. Neal,
Aye.
Mr. Hyde,
Yes.
myself, aye. Mr. McBride,
Abstain.
I'd ask everyone to review the minutes from September 11th. Advise of any questions, comments, corrections. We all check the last sentence now.
Now that one's correct.
I'll make a motion that we accept the minutes as written.
Second.
Mr. Rappich,
Aye.
Mr. Rossetti,
Aye.
Mr. Neal,
Aye.
Mr. Hyde,
Yes.
myself, aye. Mr. McBride,
Abstain.
All right. Our first agenda item is a public hearing regarding a petition for special use for the property at 370 South Briar Hill Road in the village. Public hearing is now officially open. Mr. Ray, you have a fairly standard.
Yes, sir. Just want to first note for the record that notice of this hearing was published in the Fox Valley Daily Herald on September 23rd, 2023, as required by Village Code and I think also state statute. The petitioner could speak to the other required publications if needed, and they should be there tonight to make any introductory statement that they would like. Generally, this is just a standard special use request. Included an agenda supplement in the commission's packet describing the proposed use. The zoning district that it's currently in is M2. And then I put in the several points of consideration the commission is supposed to consider for approving or denying a special use. So with that, I would just ask the petitioner if the chair would like to recognize the petitioner for opening comments of any kind.
I would, gentlemen or sir. And if you could please state your name for the court reporter. Is there anything you need to swear in on this?
It's up to you. If you're like me, we usually swear in bridges.
Preferably if we could, yeah.
Okay. Raise your right hand. Is this the, well, one at a
Yep.
time?
Steve
Okay.
Berglund, yes.
You do solemnly swear or affirm the testimony about to give in the class down here will be the whole, here's the whole truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do.
And your name and spelling of your last name, if it isn't something.
Berglund, Berglund, and I'm the president of Midwest Company, the owner of the property.
Midwest Companies.
Prior Hill Ventures, actually, is the owner of the property, so. And Prior Hill Ventures. Okay, thank you for your time tonight. I'm gonna give you a little bit of background on why I want to do this. I found a trailer online that I wanted to buy. It's a new product in the United States. And it's a galvanized trailer that everybody pulls behind their pickups and everything like that. I own 5 galvanized semi-trailers, and I've owned them for 5 years, and I'm just actually astounded at how good they hold up. They don't rust. It's not a problem. They don't have any paint. They're galvanized. So this seems like a no-brainer for me. They have one, and in doing my research to buy one, because they're built in Canada, I found out that they were looking for dealers in the US. So I applied for the dealership license for Northern Illinois, and I received that. We feel that our facility, our new C&D facility there will be a perfect draw for this trailer facility, because the people that are coming to dump at our C&D facility all pull these kind of trailers. And we just thought it'd be kind of like a no-brainer if we could sell trailers on the corner and they could see them as they're coming in and out. We thought it would be a good thing, especially because it's the newest deal in the United States. That's it. What is C&D?
I'm sorry?
C&D.
Our construction and demolition facility that's located on the, right across the street there.
I'm familiar with your.
Okay,
I just didn't know
okay.
what C&D.
All right, good. I just want to make sure.
Steve, talk a little bit about the setup of the lot. How you propose to do this?
I turned it off, sorry. I have to keep my phone on for my hearing aids.
Here's an example that's in the packet.
We put in the packet that we just wanted to do a gravel lot with a temporary building, not knowing how this is really gonna work and flow. So that was it. I mean, we've landscaped it already. It's all set to go. So we wanted the landscaping because we own the property already, but that's about it. We were gonna put a nice little building there on a concrete pad. Because for the dealership license in Illinois, we only have to be there 4 hours a day. So we didn't want anything too permanent because we don't really know how this is gonna go right off the bat.
Where would it be on the property?
Right on the corner there, Briar Hill, and my driveway into the property, if you've been out there.
I live right near there. This side of the berm,
This side of the.
Street side of the berm?
Yes, sir.
the building, or just the pad for display?
The building and the pad on the west side of the berm.
West side of the berm, away from the street.
Away from the street, correct.
North is down.
Thank you.
Does that make sense? I've got a drawing here. I can.
I see. Here's the berm and the wall. I'm thinking now.
Correct.
I gotcha.
Yes.
North is
So
up.
this is south of the driveway.
Yes.
The dealership will be on the north side.
I understand. Okay, thank you.
No problem.
North side of your driveway.
Yes, sir. I'm
Yes.
sorry.
No, that's all good.
Okay.
That's what we're here for.
Any other questions?
Approximately, how much land is north of the current driveway?
4 acres,
And how much land is being proposed to be used?
about an acre.
About an acre of that.
What's the existing surface of this lot? Is it already gravelled over?
No, right now it's got alfalfa on it.
Got what?
Alfalfa. For erosion control, that I have to do that for the water permits.
Any signage?
Not yet. We will put signage up if we're approved, yes.
Are you proposing any screening or just empty gravel lot?
No, I'd really rather not screen it so that people could see the trailers. I mean, I don't know when you've been by there, but there is landscaping up already. So that's kind of what, the extent of the screening that I'd like to have.
You've done a good job landscaping. That's one hell of a fence you put up.
Thank you. It's what we call a low maintenance fence.
Is the other gentleman going to speak or?
No, Jerry's my CFO. He just
Okay.
helps me
Okay.
when I fumble.
If that's the case, then if there is still no one signed up to speak in the public hearing, I can actually, I think, officially call this public hearing closed. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Public hearing is closed at 7:14. Next agenda item is a motion to recommend approval of a petition for special use for the property at 370 South Briar Hill to allow for trailer sales in an M2 zoning district. Any additional questions, comments, internal deliberations?
Mr. Ray, just for my edification, approval of the special use on this property means what to the village? Is it specific to this applicant? Is it specific to the property moving forward? Can you just talk about the zoning change and what it means moving forward? If this venture maybe doesn't pan out as the applicant possibly suggested. Hopefully it doesn't, but if it does. Good question.
Sure. So the ordinance can be written in different ways, and Attorney Vasselli could speak to that. But generally, in the past, the village has written it specific to this particular business with this particular property owner. And, if it were to sell, the ordinance could be written that it runs with the property and the future buyer could continue it, or it could end with the owner upon sale and the future owner would have to come back in for approval. So really whatever the commission's flavor is, I think if you would like to make a recommendation one way or the other to staff to write the ordinance, or you don't, and we can just do it as normal.
Out of curiosity, what's the general consensus on this one? Is anyone willing to make an attempt at a motion to, let's say, for example, for the duration of the lifetime of the business? Is that something legally enough?
You could make it for, James, selling, Mr. Chair, BASSE. Mr. Ray is 100% correct. You can make it for the specific end user and for the specific business. And my preference in writing is for that. The people come in, they're applicants for that special use. And then it just makes it better and it's more consistent with how I understand the statute, the intent of the statute.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
You mentioned it's a temporary structure for now. I guess, Josh, in terms of building permits, how does that work? Or is the temporary structure something that we're incorporating into the zoning? I don't know the precedent of temporary structures in Hampshire.
Yeah, it's I would not say it's necessarily a function of the Planning and Zoning Commission. Their type of building that they're looking for. I mean, you've seen the picture in the packet. It's more than a rubber shed, so it's not like it's a movable, portable, temporary thing. So if it's allowed by the building code, then it'll be permitted by Safe Built, our building officials, and that'll be a function of the permit application. I believe this will be permitted just fine.
Okay. And then the other question, kind of tied to that, this temporary structure doesn't have toilet facilities. Is it potential that there's going to be a porta-john or something?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the Illinois State Plumbing Code will require some kind of facility.
What about lighting?
Can we just clarify that this isn't going to be a temporary structure per what the code says, rather temporary for the business operator until they see how everything operates, in which potentially then they could either add on or do additional stuff? Correct?
If you're speaking to me, correct. It's that to Josh, yes, correct. No, we weren't intending to do any lighting right now. We got plenty of that across the street.
So I have a couple of concerns when it comes to currently M2 zoning. I'm not sure how to classify a trailer. It's not a motor vehicle, so to me, the actual trailers themselves is storage. And our current zoning code for M2 says storage needs to be behind the fence. And I hear the petitioner doesn't want that. I understand screening from the frontage road, but what about screening to the residential property to the north? Or I'm not sure how the extents go to the east.
Trailers are considered a motor vehicle per Illinois law.
It's a different permit.
I guess I don't understand. You said that they're not considered a motor vehicle, trailers?
Could you re-ask your question?
So currently M2 zoning says if you have storage M2 says all businesses servicing, processing, except for motor vehicles shall be within completely enclosed buildings. It also has a provision that storage, except for operable motor vehicles, shall be in buildings or screened with a solid wall or fence 6 to 8 feet tall. That's how it's currently written in our zoning code. So I'm just trying to understand, are we also asking for a variance to those with this special use? Just from what I'm hearing here. And if we're calling these motor vehicles, then that's parking. And if we're parking, that also says that we have a residence to the north. Parking to residents to the north needs a 5 to 6 foot wall between residential and parking. I'm just trying to understand how we're applying.
Mr. Chair, if I could maybe help answer that question. So first on the motor vehicle, just for clarification of the petitioner, the zoning code defines a motor vehicle as something that basically can push or pull itself. It runs on its own power. So a trailer under our zoning code would not be a motor vehicle. Commissioner Duhai, to your point about storage, I think the purpose of the special use request is that this would be classified not as storage or as parking. It would be a sales use. It's more of a retail style use. That's really not found in any of our zoning districts for trailers. But it's a trailer dealership. So I would, my opinion, and I'm not a part of this commission, but my opinion is that this is not a storage use, it's a retail sales use, and it's up to this commission whether you want to allow that in the M2 district under these conditions.
So then we would be waiving the all businesses servicing, processing, except for motor vehicles shall be within completely enclosed buildings. We'd be asking for a variance on that specific portion of M2.
I think Jimmy's got something to say about the term variance there.
Yeah, I don't necessarily like the term variance. I'm pulling up the code for the exact language. I think that the more specific use, and I want to look at the code just for exact verbiage, sales would supersede those more general and broad uses of processing and whatnot. As you know, one of the first rules of statutory construction is the more specific trumps the more general. It is more general to be processing and servicing and those types of broad-based things with sales, and retail is a more specific type of use.
Okay.
That's my understanding. I think that's consistent with what the petitioner or applicant is asking for here. I'm pulling up the code right now.
Okay.
It was taking a second, I apologize.
We know how close to the property line that residence to the north is.
To the shared property line?
Right.
I couldn't tell you feet to the dwelling, but I do know it's zoned as a dwelling. It's a homestead per the text. ID.
I believe the home, I believe is several hundred feet away from him.
Well, they live there, you can ask them.
Yeah. From our actual home?
Pardon me?
From our actual home, where the home is?
Yes.
It's 700 feet.
Okay.
Yeah, it's quite a distance.
And there's, if we're right on the corner at the driveway on the southeast corner of that section, so there's gonna be a better part of an acre between the parking or the display of the trailers to the lot line to the north. That seems like a pretty good chunk. I don't know if some sort of landscaping or berm or fence to block that view is necessary. Is it a little redundant? Is it gonna be effective at that distance anyway? I don't know.
Can I call the applicant back to the podium?
You can ask questions. Yeah.
In your words, can you give me, I mean, I know where your property is, and I drove by today, but in your words, can you give me a description of the general area in which your current property is located, generalities, and possibly any conversations you've had with neighboring properties about this proposal?
I have talked to Ted, who is my neighbor to the north.
Okay.
I wasn't indicated that there was any problems.
Sure.
We're right across the street from their Allen's towing operation. They store trucks and trailers on that property to the north of me now, semi trucks and trailers. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
There's a tree line there too.
Oh, yeah, there's a tree line
That's a
with fairly big trees on the property line.
On the north property.
And to clarify for the rest of the petitioner, or actually the rest of the commissioners, as part of the process that petitioner has gone through with the village, he is required to submit a list of the neighboring properties. So I would rather not belabor the petitioner with any further questions than they've already answered. Mr. Vasselli, any possible update? So I mean, at the end of the day, we're here to ask for a special use and no offense, Mr. Vasselli, variance.
No, please.
I know you said you were not fond of that word. That's why we're here. The special use is for the special use. So yes, a special use conflicts with verbatim ordinance. However, the motion is phrased, we can make a motion to possibly address any concern any of the commissioners may have this evening. Whether it's neighbors, which our petitioner has already addressed in the submission to the village. Obviously, there is a friendship or kinship with the neighbors. So if there's any further questions on that, let me know. So the item at hand, the agenda item at hand in front of us right now is as written, is the special use allowing for sales of unpowered trailers. I think it's fine the way it's written.
You know, one reason I don't like the word variance is it goes back to the notification provision. So a variance is a different type of relief, as this board has addressed in many different circumstances. So to use the word variance, call into question the notice that we had already put in the record that was validly done before. That's, and I know it's just nomenclature, and I don't want to over lawyer stuff, but I'm a lawyer, so I over lawyer stuff. So I just prefer that we, keep it as simple as possible, and I think that this does come within the classifications of the special use permit, as Mr. Ray said.
So Mr. Ray, just a little extra clarification, these types of special use requests are phrased in the actual writing as to what's submitted to the village, the county, et cetera, to include whatever that phrasing happens to be, life cycle, life lifetime of that business with the petitioner, business owner, et cetera, land use. I'm rambling now on this one, but generally you word it in such a way, correct?
I thought I heard you ask about the notice. I don't think the notice necessarily includes that for the hearing, but the ordinance, when it goes to the board.
Not the notice, but the actual, the special use is pertinent to the lifetime of the business. Along those lines.
Yeah,
Is
that's the way the village has done it in prior approvals.
Okay.
Mr. Chair, with that in mind, I'd like to make a motion that we recommend the approval of a petition for special use for the property at 370 South Briar Hill Road to allow for trail sales in the M2 zoning district.
Second.
Anything we need to adjust now that he's physically present?
Well, let's put it in the record that he is now physically present and outside 7:49.
For the record, Mr. McBride arrived at 17:09 p.m. Mr. Rossetti made a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, Mr. Revich.
Aye.
Mr. Rossetti.
Aye.
Mr. Neal.
Aye.
Ms. Duhai.
Yes.
Myself, aye. Mr. McBride.
Aye.
And I will now entertain a motion to authorize the chair to report the actions of the commission this evening with appropriate findings of fact and recommendations to the village board of trustees.
So moved.
Second.
Revich.
Aye.
Rossetti.
Aye.
Mr. Neal.
Aye.
Ms. Duhai.
Yes.
Myself, aye. Mr. McBride.
Aye.
Thank you, Mr. Froman. Am I assuming correctly, Mr. Vasselli, if you could be so kind, check the public comment sign up sheet? We still have no one signed up to speak.
Mr. Chairman, no one has signed up to speak. Our only actions are announcements and adjournment.
Okay, thank you. I myself have no announcements. Are there any additional announcements from anyone else on the commission? Any tidings of good news or anything related? Okay. I will entertain a motion to adjourn at 7:30.
So moved.
Second.
Mr. Revich.
Aye.
Mr. Rossetti.
Aye.
Mr. Neal.
Aye.
Ms. Duhai.
Yes.
Myself, aye. Mr. McBride.
Aye.
Meeting is adjourned.